miss a KSAM sports presentation. It's Friday night in Hornets country. This is Huntsville Hornets High School football, proudly presented by Bill Fick Ford and by Advantage Specialties, AB Squared Self-Storage, A&D Propane, Adams Furniture, AIM Insurance Agencies, Charlie's Used Cars, First Franklin Financial, Gamers Grove, Hartfield Florist, Huntsville Independent School District, Huntsville Truck and Tractor Kubota, MRC Creekside, McGilberry Mechanical Heating and Cooling, Moke and Moke Attorneys at Law, Murray Insurance and Financial Services, Nelson Amaya Collision Center, Northside Baptist Church, Pinnacle Realty Advisors, Texas Department of Criminal Justice, Texpress Urgent Care Center, The Woodlands Financial Group, Wiesner Huntsville, McWilliams & Sons Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, University Heights Baptist Church. The 2023 Hornet season is presented by Bill Fick Ford. Now, here's Carlos Zimmermann and Brian Adams.
And a pleasant good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you here for a brand new season of Huntsville Hornet football. Almost, as we got a great scrimmage here for you tonight, live from Lufkin, Texas, in Abe Martin Stadium, as the Lufkin Panthers will be taking on your Huntsville Hornets here in just a little bit. We welcome you into the Charlie's Used Cars pregame show alongside the former Hornet quarterback Brian Adams. I'm Carlos Zimmermann. Glad to have you with us tonight here in Lufkin. Brian, beautiful night for football. You can smell it in the air. Football and gridiron football is back.
Yes, it is. It is back. You can feel it. It's, man, you can feel those temperatures out there, man, those guys. What an incredible summer they've gone through, man. 2-a-days with temperatures over 100 degrees every day. And those guys are giving it everything they have. You can feel it. It's football time. Glad to be here with you, Carlos.
Absolutely. As you see down on the field right now, the freshman team is off to your right. The JV team is off to your left. They're going through their final reps here, getting some action here before the varsity team takes to the field. What's going to be in tonight, folks, for this scrimmage is they are going to do 10 reps on both sides, 10 reps for some groups and then 10 reps for other groups before they go through 2 full 12-minute quarters of scrimmage, and that's when you'll get more of the play-by-play and color action coming up a little bit later. Brian, obviously, scrimmages have definitely changed over the years and stuff like that, but what's of the most benefit here for these guys as they get tuned up for A&M Consolidated next week?
Well, several things, really, but one, it gives the coaches an opportunity to look at the talent that they have on their team and observe and lets the players, kind of tune up and get ready for when the season starts. So, yeah, scrimmages, are a really good thing. You get to put the pads on. You get to hit an opponent because they've been hitting each other all summer long. Now you get to hit somebody else. But, yeah, it gives the coaches an opportunity to see who they have, who they're going to put in the positions when they make those final decisions.
And, folks, that's why we don't really have a roster for Huntsville tonight because, head coach Rodney Southern and his staff still have some decisions to make before they get into the A&M Consolidated game next week. One thing is for certain, we know who is going to be at the quarterback position, and we're going to talk about that here in a few moments. Folks, as we welcome you in, if you are just joining us on the 101.7 KSAM YouTube channel, the brand new home for the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network, you're going to catch every single Hornet football game, basketball, baseball, and softball game on this channel going forward. So if you haven't already, hit subscribe. We just hit 100 subscribers. That was our goal by tonight. So keep telling your friends and family this is where you can catch all the broadcasts this year. Of course, every Hornet football game will also be on the FM airwaves on 101.7 KSAM. Real quick here, since we're on a new platform, in our own platform at that, I want to take you inside the numbers real quick. Brought to you by our friends at Charlie's Used Cars. We're calling this a new standard for high school sports broadcasting. The broadcast quality you guys are going to see tonight, all the games are broadcasted in 2K QHD. Every single game will be that way. The audio has gotten a bit of an enrichment. It's now in 5.1 surround sound audio, so even greater experiences for you guys watching from home, as well as video enhancement, 4K UHD, 60 frames per second video, folks. This is a lot of nerd talk, but hey, this is cool for me and stuff like that. And the on-screen presentation that you guys are going to see as well, enhanced 2K QHD motion graphics. That's all the new stuff that we are adding to the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network this year on the 101.7 KSAM YouTube channel. That was Inside the Numbers, brought to you by Charlie's Used Cars. As the JV and freshman teams continue to go through their reps on the field, varsity will be joining them out here after a little while, folks. I do real quick want to take a look at how both of these teams performed last year. First, of course, for the Huntsville Hornets, you caught every game last year on the FM airwaves on KSAM, and this is how it all spilled out last year. Lake Creek took care of District 10 by storm in 5A Division II Region 3. Brenham came in second at 8-5, 5-1 in the district. Montgomery squeezing their way in there at 3-8, 3-3 at the third spot. And then Huntsville working their way into the postseason after missing the prior year, going 4-7 and 3-3 last year. Lamar Consolidated, Randall, and Rudder you see there not making the postseason. Brian, looking back at last year, of course, it was a year of transition for Huntsville. A lot of seniors graduated from the previous team, so it was we beat it like a dead horse. It was a very young squad last year.
Yeah, it was a very young squad. You had a very young quarterback starting in Austin Taylor, a sophomore. And that's asking a lot for a young guy who's probably 16 years old at that point to lead the varsity squad. He did a tremendous job. He got injured, and that slowed the Hornets down quite a bit. And, of course, Rodney Southern and his coaches, they made adjustments, and they did the best they could under the circumstances because of injuries, and they did find themselves in the playoffs. So fantastic job last year. So exciting for Austin because I tell you what, you get 1 year of experience under your belt, your second year going to be that much better. And he's only a junior. So the sky's the limit for him and these Hornets. I'm excited to be here tonight and watch this.
And, talking about Austin Taylor, of course, I saw him at the watermelon scrimmage. I mean, he looked pure as ever, ready to just get back at it. One key for the Hornets this year when you look at it, and we'll talk about it throughout the night, it is a brand new offensive line that he's going to be trying to work behind. Everyone that started on the line last year was a senior, like that of Chris Smith, Nathan Schweitzer, as well as Thomas Rose, Thomas Knapp, who am I forgetting? Cesar Robledo doing the snapping, and of course and Micah Fisher as well. So you graduated all those guys.
Right.
It's a brand spanking new offensive line, anchored by senior JT Kroll at the left tackle position, as well as other pieces like Brian Parker Jr. and many others. So it's going to be something that he's got to get used to, Brian, here for a bit. Talk to me about that a little bit, trying to gel with a new offensive line.
Well, you know what? I tell you, I was fortunate. I got an opportunity a couple of times this summer to go out and throw the ball at Bedrock with Austin and just kind of talk philosophy and encouragement and things like that to him. And one of the things with a young offensive line is Austin can expect a lot of movement in the backfield, a lot of rollouts, a lot of sprint outs to try to give yourself the run-pass option. And that's going to be a lot of those plays the Hornets are going to run this year because they have such a young offensive line. However, that line is talented, and that's a young, strong bunch, and they're going to give some pretty good protection to Austin. But, again, I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of rollouts, a lot of sprint outs and things like that to give him the time he needs to hit his receivers.
As it looks like the freshmen and JV teams are wrapping up their ends of the scrimmage. We're going to step aside and take a break. We came on a little bit late here as we were just fighting some technical difficulties on our side. Of course, you're going to have those with all the new things that we're rolling out for you guys this year. But we are glad to have you with us tonight here in Lufkin at Abe Martin Stadium as the Lufkin Panthers and the Huntsville Hornets will take to the field here momentarily to go through their reps, and then we'll get to play for a couple of quarters of football. Folks, Texas high school football is back here in the Lone Star State, and we're glad to bring it to you here on the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network. We'll step aside and take a break. Be back in a moment.
This is Tim Rushing with Charlie's Used Cars. I am proud to announce our 50-year anniversary of serving the motoring public here in Huntsville. Charlie's Used Cars is a family-owned and operated business that strives to offer quality vehicles with superior customer service. Our commitment to the local community and the loyal customer base that we have built is something we don't take for granted. We appreciate the opportunity we have had the past 50 years and look forward to many more to come. Remember, if you are in the market for a pre-owned vehicle, then you need to come see us at Charlie's Used Cars, 230 I-45 South in Huntsville. We look forward to seeing you.
This is the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network, 101.7 KSAM Huntsville, and on the KSAM mobile app, Sting 'em Hornets.
Huntsville ISD is the best place for children to be. We offer a full-day pre-K center to advanced career and college options, along with a variety of extracurricular activities and award-winning fine arts, band and athletics programs, an excellent child nutrition and bus transportation services, bilingual ESL and GT programs, special education services, and a career and technical education program that provides multiple certification and licensing options for students. Visit huntsville-isd.org. It's a great day to be a Hornet. We're building champions, everyone, every day.
Hey y'all, Josh Ward here. I travel a lot of miles up and down the highway playing country music, and it never fails. Wherever I go, I always see trucks from Bill Fick Ford in Huntsville. If I'm not on the road playing music, I'm out driving my Ford F-350 that I got from Bill Fick Ford. Take it from me. Stop by today, meet No Bull Bill, get your own No Bull deal. Then you'll understand why so many trucks on the road come from Bill Fick Ford. Shop them online at BillFickFordHuntsville.com. Oh, be sure to tell them Josh Ward sent you. We'll see you down the road.
We will win because we are the best on the field.
The following is a KSAM sports presentation. It's Friday night in Hornets country. This is Huntsville Hornets High School Football, proudly presented by Bill Fick Ford and by Advantage Specialties, AB Squared Self-Storage, A&D Propane, Adams Furniture, AIM Insurance Agencies, Charlie's Used Cars, First Franklin Financial, Gamers Grove, Hartfield Florist, Huntsville Independent School District, Huntsville Truck and Tractor Kubota, MRC Creekside, McGilberry Mechanical Heating and Cooling, Moke and Moke Attorneys at Law, Murray Insurance and Financial Services, Nelson Amaya Collision Center, Northside Baptist Church, Pinnacle Realty Advisors, Texas Department of Criminal Justice, Texpress Urgent Care Center, The Woodlands Financial Group, Wiesner Huntsville, McWilliams & Sons Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, University Heights Baptist Church. The 2023 Hornet season is presented by Bill Fick Ford. Now, here's Carlos Zimmermann and Brian Adams.
And a pleasant good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you back here to Abe Martin Stadium in beautiful Lufkin, Texas. The sun may be hot, but we are ready to go for some Friday night football action on KSAM Sports presented by Bill Fick Ford. Tonight's scrimmage matchup features the Lufkin Panthers and the Huntsville Hornets. We welcome you up here to kind of the booth here at Abe Martin Stadium. We're out in the elements, but we're having a good time here. I'm Carlos Zimmermann. Alongside of me is the former Hornet quarterback himself, Brian Adams. The freshman and JV teams just peeled off the field, and the Hornets are down there on the field right now going through their warm-ups. And I'm sure they are itching and going to get this one started. Brian, like we said earlier, it's a pleasure to be back up here with you, my friend. Year number 2 for you and me at the helm of this. It's going to be another fun and exciting year for these Hornets, and it starts tonight. I've dubbed it the final tune-up before you get off and going with real football.
Yeah, you know, this is the final tune-up. I mean, this is the last scrimmage game for the Hornets before the season starts, and this is where you got to showcase your talents. This is your last opportunity to impress the coaches, do what you have to do to try to earn that starting spot, and I know a lot of these kids out there are going to give it everything they have, because that's the cool thing about football, man, is competing and getting out there and doing everything your level best to earn the starting spot, and that's what all these guys are doing. It is Friday night football. The season is upon us. Man, I'm so excited. This is my favorite time of year.
It is mine as well, Brian. It's such an incredible time of year, and it's going to be very exciting to see what the Hornets can do this year after getting that 1 year of being young out of the way. You can't use that excuse anymore. You got to go full guns a-blazing if you want to make your way back into a deeper run into the postseason. Again, we welcome you inside the Pinnacle Realty Advisors broadcast booth. Carlos Zimmermann, Brian Adams. I'm going to throw it to a third member of our crew here in just a moment, but I do want to let you know tonight's video broadcast is being presented in 2K Quad HD with a 4K Ultra HD enhanced presentation. This broadcast is also enhanced with our newest audio innovation, KSAM Sports 5.1 surround sound audio. Closed captioning is also available for the hearing impaired. For some storylines down on the sideline, I got a familiar voice down there. It is my guy, Luke Scott. He's filling in for Kendall Morris tonight. Luke, what's up, buddy?
What's going on? Glad to be down here, ready for some high school football. You know, it's every Texan's favorite thing, football under lights, and this is just the showcase to get going.
Luke, obviously you and I had a chance to talk with head coach Rodney Southern down there earlier. Just, delve into a bit of what he talked about. Obviously the Hornets are going to be without their starting running back tonight in Trayshawn Brown as he's nursing an injury, but hopefully he'll be ready to go next week. Just your thoughts on how things got to spill out tonight for the Hornets in this scrimmage. Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of good work. Coach Southern talked about playing some young guys. Obviously they're building off last year, which was a really young season and a building season, and this year Coach Southern expects some big things from those guys that got a lot of experience. Guys like Austin Taylor, playing a lot. He got injured, but learned some valuable experience there at the quarterback position. Looking at the defense, a couple big guys on defense ready to step up this year, especially in the secondary. We're excited to get the team going. Coach is really pumped up and feels like he's got a pretty good team coming in this season. Luke, one more guy I want to highlight as well down there on the field. You mentioned it, the guy in the secondary, Isaiah Boss Collins down there. Committed to Texas Tech right now, one of the bigger commits that Huntsville's popped out in recent years. I mean, what's going to be paramount for him in his senior year to be able to make something happen? Yeah, head coach Joey McGuire there for Texas Tech really saw something you like in him. And obviously, the first thing you notice when you see Isaiah is his size and athleticism. I mean, the dude is well over 6'2", probably reaching 6'4". I mean, he's grown. I don't know what the measurables on him right now is because he's grown ever since the summer, but the dude just keeps getting faster. And, he looks good so far. All righty, Luke, thank you very much down there on the opposite sideline there with the Hornets. We'll chime in with you as this broadcast goes throughout the night. As you see down there on the field, the Hornets are going to be rocking the silver jerseys with the numbers in green, that beautiful Hornet green outlined in white. Lufkin rolling with the home purples with a little bit of black on the shoulder pads. Numbers in white outlined in black. Like we said, this is kind of going to be a little bit of an unorthodox broadcast because scrimmages are a little bit different than an actual game. We'll do some reps back and forth. They said something around 10, like 10 for this group, 10 for this group, and I was like, sure, we're glad to be here. And then we'll roll, hopefully, through 2 full 12-minute quarters of play. That's when you're going to get to see some of the real action. And again, I do want to preface again, folks, we don't have a roster for Huntsville. I have one for Lufkin, but I don't have one for Huntsville because that roster is not finalized yet. There's still some numbers we're going to have to get used to seeing out there, as well as some guys that may shift around before A&M Consolidated next week. So if there is a number that we can't match a name with, I do humbly apologize, but we'll have that corrected by next week. And speaking of that, looking at next week, obviously it's not going to be in the new stadium just yet. We'll be at L.A.T. Bauer Stadium on the SHSU campus. But, Brian, obviously there's a lot of excitement in Huntsville right now with this brand-new stadium, albeit it's on a delay, but we hopefully will get into it prior to the start of district. Just I want to get your perspective on it. A brand-new stadium, you being a former Hornet, something to be proud about. Well, you know what? It's I guess the first word that comes to mind is finally. And this thing is incredible. And my hat is off to Rodney Southern. And because I remember when he first came in here, I met him, and we had about a 15 to 20-minute visit in his office, and that was one of his visions. And it has come to fruition, and it is incredible. And what an opportunity for these young men to get to play in a brand-new stadium they can call their own. And not only that, but it is the state of the art. It is absolutely beautiful. It's going to be a Friday night environment that hadn't been seen around Huntsville in many, many years. It is incredible. A lot of kids, another really cool thing, a lot of kids that are young in an elementary school, middle school, they're going to experience those things on Friday nights, and they're going to want to be a part of that. And it's going to help the Hornets grow in the future. Fantastic. It's incredible. I'm so excited. I can't wait for that thing to open up. I mean, it's also exciting for the current guys that are out there on the field right now, guys that have been working since 7th grade at Mans Park and then working their way up here through the ranks, and that this is going to be the first team to open and christen the new stadium that generations of Hornets are going to get to enjoy. So we thank you in the Huntsville community for voting in the bond and making it happen for these student athletes. And it's not just the football side of things, too. Baseball and softball get brand-new complexes as well. So you're not just supporting one team. You're supporting multiple teams across the board as well. Well, think about that bond. It did so much good for HISD. Yes, we got a very nice stadium, a great sports complex. But I tell you, all the other schools got, renovations done, add-ons done, bringing them up to codes and just all that kind of stuff is huge for the whole school district. But again, I mean, that part of town, to be able to have your own high school stadium right there at your high school is something the Hornets haven't had in over 50 years. Think about that for a minute.
50 years, and Huntsville was one of only 2 high schools in Texas without their own stadium. And yes, it's been a great partnership with Sam Houston. They've been very generous to the Hornets and vice versa. But to have your own, man, that is the most incredible thing. Friday nights are going to be busting at the seams. That's going to be the place to be in town. Cannot wait for that to happen.
You know, one thing we've talked about just amongst us at the station is that it's not just going to be Hornets coming out to see this. People from around the area who may not even be football fans or have any ties to Huntsville ISD whatsoever, they may just want to come out and watch some good football in a brand new stadium and check it out for themselves. People may be coming up from the south, coming from the north, just to see this new stadium for Huntsville. So this is going to be huge once it opens. Boys, are going to be exciting. Again, the timetable they're looking at is September 15th through September 30th. So the earliest we could get in there is that game against Clear Springs. But for the time being, the first 2 home games will be played at Bauer Stadium next week against A&M Consolidated, and then September 8th against Belton. And, of course, we'll take a look at the upcoming schedule coming up later on in the broadcast here tonight. As, again, you see Lufkin and you see Huntsville warming up down there on the field as the 2 JV and freshman games kind of got a little bit of a late, or they got an early jump, but then they kind of kept going after a little while. So these guys will continue to just go through their warm-ups down there on the field, and will continue to highlight pieces of, or just players, I should say, and other things down there as well. Should be a very exciting night of football to get things set up for what is to come next week. I'm going to step aside real quick, and let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue to break down what's going to happen here tonight between Huntsville and Lufkin, as well as a look ahead for the upcoming season from the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network on KSAM Sports.
Hey folks, it's Steven over here at Adams Furniture. We're your Huntsville, Texas hometown furniture store. Come in and see why we carry the top brands with great customer service. We carry brands such as Tempur-Pedic, Sealy Hybrid, Serta mattresses. We have the biggest selection of Lazy Boy recliners, double reclining sofas, reclining love seats. We have all American made hardwood bedroom furniture, living room furniture, all American made lift chairs. All this is in stock and ready for delivery at Adams Furniture. We are cheaper in the country. Shop local with us and save your money. That's Adams Furniture, 30 State Highway, 75 North and 10th Street.
This is Tim Rushing with Charlie's Used Cars. I am proud to announce our 50-year anniversary of serving the motoring public here in Huntsville. Charlie's Used Cars is a family-owned and operated business that strives to offer quality vehicles with superior customer service. Our commitment to the local community and the loyal customer base that we have built is something we don't take for granted. We appreciate the opportunity we have had the past 50 years and look forward to many more to come. Remember, if you are in the market for a pre-owned vehicle, then you need to come see us at Charlie's Used Cars, 230 I-45 South in Huntsville. We look forward to seeing you.
Are you thinking of selling, buying, or investing? This is Frank Oliveras, United States Marine Corps veteran with Pinnacle Realty. From my family to yours, we want to say thank you to all the friends and families for trusting us with your vision and dream for the past 13 years. Remember, to our family, relationship matters, and friends turn into family. Give me a call, Frank Oliveras, for your real estate needs today. 936-577-6419 or 936-661-1575. Thank you, and we love you in Christ Jesus.
It's always game time at Gamers Grove, Huntsville's friendly local game store located at 1212 14th Street. Family owned and operated since 2012, Gamers Grove carries a wide range of tabletop games and accessories for everyone. Board games, card games, miniatures, and more. With a huge game room open for free casual gaming and exciting competitive events, Gamers Grove provides a friendly place where people can play games, make friends, and become a part of an ever-growing community. That's Gamers Grove, located at 1212 14th Street in Huntsville.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Texas. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the UIL and the Texas High School Athletic Directors Association.
This is Kadarian Easley, number 55, defensive lineman, and you're listening to Huntsville Hornet football on 101.7 KSAM. Sting 'em, Hornets.
We welcome you back here to Abe Martin Stadium in beautiful Lufkin, Texas, getting ready for some Friday night football scrimmages here at Abe Martin. A great crowd on hand here this evening. It's a very, very exciting time, obviously, for both Lufkin and Huntsville as they're trying to make their ways back to the postseason for two teams that were just squeaking in to the postseason last year. Actually, Lufkin just missing out by a game. Huntsville just squeezing in last year. If you are just joining us on the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network and the 101.7 KSAM YouTube channel, I'm Carlos Zimmermann. Alongside of me is Brian Adams. Joseph Mejia has got the ball queued up here, and they will kick it over to Lufkin, and we'll get some of this scrimmage action for you underway. Football is once again underway in the Lone Star State. Kick is away, and it is received back there by a Lufkin Panther. Diving tackle there, but they'll run him out of bounds. Oh, hello. That's going to warrant some flags right out of the gate. You don't want to do that, Brian.
No, you sure don't. That's a silly penalty. He was already out of bounds. Let the guy go out of bounds. Don't hit him late. And again, this is a scrimmage, and that's kind of the things you work through. So
well, that'll hurt the Hornets a little bit here at the start of this scrimmage. Things you got to work through as ball games progress. So talking things over there with head coach Todd Quick. Now the Hornet defense will trot on out there. Actually, I figured this is the kind of thing that they were doing. They're kind of doing back and forth kind of stuff here, Brian.
Yeah. Well, it looks like they're going to re-kick it.
And then you roll out a new set of personnel here, going through some kickoffs here on the field. Obviously, a critical part of the ball games. You know, special teams is one thing we haven't talked about yet, and was really critical for the Hornets in that final game of the regular season against Richmond Randall last year. Special teams stepped up in big ways. Cole Schroeder recovered a kickoff that really gave the Hornets some momentum after they were down early. Brian, I mean, that's one facet of the game that is going to have to be stout the entire season, because those kind of things in special teams, they are big momentum-shifting plays.
100%. I was thinking the same thing, Carlos. They're all about momentum. If you run one back, I mean, you're talking about just taking all the momentum away, and it is vital that the Hornets do a really good job, because it's the third aspect of football, the special teams. So they got to do a good job. It's a very important part of the game. And, the cool thing with scrimmages is, they're going to re-kick it. And that's just part of it, man. Just get better.
Line drive kick there by Mejia, bobbled by a Lufkin player deep in that backfield. He'll have to recover it in the end zone, trying to run this one out. 5-10, finds a hole, 20, 25, 30. Good recovery and return there on that kickoff return for the Lufkin Panthers. Continue to go back and forth here at the start of this scrimmage.
Yeah, that's a great return by Lufkin right there. Part of special teams on kickoff is those guys on the kickoff team have to stay in their lanes. That is very important they do that. And you can see right there was a little bit of misalignment, and some people got out of their lanes, and the ball went deep into the end zone. He picks it up, takes it out to the 35. You got to do a better job of that and take advantage of mishaps by your opponents.
So as they continue to reset, gives us an opportunity to take a look at how Lufkin performed last year in 5A Division I, Region 2, District 7. Quite the stout district. Longview coming in, running it through 7-0 and 14-1 on the year with a deep run into the postseason. Lancaster came in with a second-place finish, 9-3, 6-1. 40 finished 7-4 and 5-2. And then Lufkin finishing just missing out on the postseason, 6-4, and they went 3-4. As well. And then McKinney North stretching in there at 7-4 and 4-3. So obviously Lufkin, Brian's coming in with a chip on their shoulder, and this is going to be a good test for them as well.
Yeah, Lufkin is a solid ball club. I mean, these guys, what is this, the fifth? Is this the fifth season in a row we played them preseason?
Pretty sure.
Something like that, right?
I believe it started prior to me even arriving in Huntsville as an undergrad at Sam Houston. So it's definitely kind of that friendly rivalry, if you will. As here's a little pooch kick off the left side. A couple of Hornets will swarm towards it, Got by him there a little bit as he'll run this one around the end zone. Nope, he bobbled it in there, and Lufkin will land on it there on this rep here. Well, a little miscommunication there for the Hornets in the end zone. Things they got to work on as the season progresses.
Yeah, that's kind of a neon light flashing right now on the Hornet special teams. A couple of mistakes, one on kickoff and one off kickoff return. You got to secure the football. I mean, it's as simple as that. Grab it and go. Can't afford to fumble it, and it costs you every time.
So they'll reset once more. Again, this Lufkin squad under the direction of head coach Todd Quick, and I want to thank him. He's also the athletic director here. He was gracious enough to let us come on out here and broadcast tonight's scrimmage. I've been working alongside with him with our other sports in basketball and baseball and in softball, so it's been a pleasure working alongside him, and he's got a very good squad that he's put together this year, him and his staff. So it'll be intriguing to see how the Hornets fare as this one progresses. And good thank you to one of our crew members here, Eric Mays, one of the new guys on our staff. We have a Huntsville roster now, so we can actually see who's making some of those plays out there here this evening. A lot of new faces on this one. this year for Huntsville. A lot of guys that played JV last year getting the call up to varsity, whether it be through age or just pure ability alone. As Lufkin will get ready to kick this one over to Huntsville. It is Nolan Hansard. He's got that one queued up here for the Hornets. 2 back deep to receive this one as we continue to go through the kickoff reps here if you're just joining us. That's J-Bug, Jeremiah Winfrey, that takes that one, gets a blocker in front of him. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Look at J-Bug go 40. Now the 45 yard line, stepped out around the 40. You know, talking about Jeremiah Winfrey, Brian, this guy is going to be something huge for Huntsville. He started on the offensive side of the ball last year, worked his way to the defensive side, and what stood out to me big time was in that game against Richmond Randall. He covered so much ground on a huge game-changing interception. I mean, coming from maybe that 30-yard line on the close side to on the other side of the hash marks to pick that ball off. So he's got great range out there with his speed. He's going to be critical to the Hornets defense in the secondary.
Yeah, I tell you, man, Winfrey, a lot of these guys, they got a lot of great experience last year. You know, JT Kroll switching sides and coming to the offensive side of the ball. You know, we talked about Austin Taylor already. You can't replace experience, and that's what these guys got. And these guys are talented, man. You talk about Isaiah and his growth over the summer and last year, man, and Texas seeing that and signing him. I mean, or committing rather. But I mean, what an opportunity, man, for Huntsville football this year over last year.
Well, moving to punting formation now out here on the field. If you're just joining us on 101.7 KSAM YouTube channel and the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network, continuing to work through the reps here as they'll punt this one. Oh, high step. That's got something Lufkin's going to have to work on, and there's no way he's going to be able to get that one away, so they'll try and set it up one more time. So a botch step there for Lufkin. And Cole Schroeder was ready to go back deep and receive that one. That's another guy I want to highlight here, Cole Schroeder. He had an incredible season last year as a junior, now senior, part of that secondary for the Hornets, and he'll return a lot of the kicks as well. One particular highlight from him last year was against Brian Rudder, where he almost took a block kick all the way back. So he's going to be a big, big piece for the Hornets this year in that secondary and on special teams as well, as we're going to see in a moment if what he's got out there once the Lufkin's able to get some sort of punt away.
Well, you know, you talk about Cole Schroeder, and I guess the first word that comes to mind is fearless. I mean, this guy won. He's very quick. He's got great hands. He comes from a football family. Obviously, his father's one of the coordinators. He's got football in his blood. He's a great athlete. He's going to have some big plays on special teams this year. It's going to be fun to watch.
We'll see how he does here on this one as a couple of Hornets jumped off sides. Sees flags flying. Punt is away here by Mr. Hansard. That ball's going to go out of bounds at the 42-yard line, but the Hornets did jump off sides. That's something I noticed in the Watermelon scrimmage, Brian, is that watching them and that front line for the defense when it came to hard snaps and stuff like that, they did a very fair job just watching that ball, but there were a couple times that they jumped the snap. So some things they just got to keep working on, because the key there on the defensive line, watch the ball.
Watch the ball, 100%. Both sides, actually. But, you know, you think about it, you know, in the beginning of the season, teams experience a lot of penalties because they're shaking off the rust in game-time situations and things like that. So I'm not surprised we're seeing mishaps already on special teams and penalties this early, but that's really kind of to be expected.
I'll throw it to a third member of our crew here in just a little bit, in Luke Scott, as he's down there on the sideline with Colin Neal, the voice of Lady Hood basketball and baseball. There's a high snap by the Hornets. Joseph Mejia back to go collect it. He had to just slide down before getting that one. Man, he got some juice on that one despite sliding down. So he's been working on his stuff in the offseason as well. But well, it looks like the miscues are plaguing both sides right now, and it's apparent because, you know, for both of these teams, it's the first time, at least for Huntsville, I'm not sure for Lufkin, but this is the first time that they're doing live snaps against another team, not themselves.
Oh, 100%. You saw Lufkin snap one over their punter's head. The Hornets just snapped one over Mejia's head. So, yeah, I mean, just, again, there's probably a little bit of nervousness going on out there. Butterflies, I mean, that's a good thing. I mean, when I played for the Hornets and for Sam Houston, I had the same thing. That is a good thing. Once you get that first hit, though, all that kind of stuff disappears, and you start playing ball.
Mejia back to get it. He collects this one cleanly this time. A good arcing punt off to the right side. Their catch called for at the 40-yard line. So Mejia continuing to work on punts, and that's good that Mejia's been able to work on the punts, because over the last season, we saw quarterbacks dropping back and punting the balls away. So obviously the Hornets are able to get away from that now, it looks like, and so they've kind of turned Mejia into more of a kicker-punter type of guy. As now they'll continue to go for some more warm-ups here before we get closer and closer to the 2 live quarters of 12 minutes of play. Sun's starting to set here in Lufkin behind us. Thank goodness, Brian, because, man, it has been hot, and more hot in the Lone Star State without much relief over the last month and a half. I mean, I know you've been gallivanting all over the world as of late. You know, we could talk about that here in a little bit, but, you know, it doesn't seem like there's an end in sight when it comes to this heat.
No, it really doesn't. And the crazy thing about this high-pressure system that it seems like we've been living under for a month and a half, if not longer, is it stretches up to Nebraska, the headquarters of my company, and that's something they never experienced. You know, but down here, you know, it's like convection of it. And you walk outside your front door, it just hits you like just a Mack truck. And think about it in terms of these young men out on this football field. These guys are out in it every day, you know.